Is web design oversaturated? Is that question on your mind? If you are wondering that, it usually means you are at a very specific point. This is not just random curiosity. You are already considering web design, but you are trying to protect yourself from making the wrong move. As you probably know, once you start thinking about something seriously, you begin to notice it everywhere. You look online, you see a lot of designers, you see software and tools everywhere. You see people offering websites for very low prices. And at some point, you start thinking, am I too late to start on this path? So let's slow this down for a second, because when you ask whether web design is oversaturated, you are usually not asking about numbers. You are asking about risk. You are asking whether this is actually worth committing to, or whether it is just another crowded online path that looks good on the surface, but does not really go anywhere. So let's take a closer look at why it feels saturated. What you are mostly seeing is the loud part of the industry, the part where people build one-off websites, the part where everyone uses the same tools, the part where pricing becomes the main way to compete. And a lot of social media noise on top of that. All of these layers are very visible as soon as you go online. And if that is all you see, it makes sense that it feels overwhelming. But that is not how most sustainable web design businesses actually operate. Here's the part many people miss. Most clients are not scrolling through endless lists of web designers. They are not comparing portfolios all day. They are usually looking for one thing: someone who understands their situation, who can guide them through decisions, and who will still be there after the website goes live. That is a very different kind of market. So when web design feels oversaturated, it is often because a very specific approach is saturated, not the work itself. Most of the noise comes from people offering the same generic service to everyone, from designers constantly searching for projects on social media and feeling like they have to post all the time just to be seen. But when web design is paired with understanding a certain type of client, industry, or problem, the competition drops dramatically. And this is especially relevant if you are coming from another career. You might not feel like it yet, but you are not starting from zero. You already understand how a certain type of business works. You know how people in that field think. You know what confuses them and what they care about. When web design is built on top of that, it stops being just web design. It becomes a service, and clients do not hire services the same way they hire random freelancers. They look for trust, they look for clarity, they look for someone who feels familiar. Ultimately, they are looking for a business relationship. This is also why two people can use the same platform and end up in very different places. One ends up competing on visibility and price. The other builds a small, stable client base and grows quietly over time. So let's bring this back to the original question. A question that gets asked year after year. Is web design oversaturated? The honest answer is no. There are always new businesses, new services, and existing businesses that need new or updated websites. But certain ways of doing web design are oversaturated. If web design is treated as a one-time task, it will feel crowded and unstable. If it is treated as an ongoing client-based service, the experience changes completely. And this is why many successful web designers are not even found on social media. They are busy working with their clients, they are consistent, they spend their time fine-tuning their business, not constantly chasing the next thing. So if this question has been on your mind, that is actually a good thing. It usually means you are thinking carefully about what you want to invest in, not that you are late. And instead of asking whether web design is oversaturated, it might help to ask something slightly different. Which version of web design am I actually considering? Because those are two very different paths, and one of them is far less crowded than it looks, but far more stable. If you are thinking about web design and wondering whether it is still a realistic option for you, feel free to leave a question below.